Hello, everybody. Brian Reeve here, branch manager with Neighborhood Loans. I am here with two special guests, Cari Sparks from Empire Title and Michael Boykin. He's a broker. He's been a broker for a few months. He's been an associate broker for about 4 years, and he really specializes in AI. And so we hear AI out there in the industry a lot about AI this, AI that. Seems to be like the new buzz, but I understand you got a master's in AI, and you've wrote a book, and it's on Amazon, and you've done quite a bit. I've seen kind of your platform and what you got going on. But why don't you take the time to just kind of explain to everybody what makes your AI platform different? What value do you bring to real estate agents? Let's just talk about that a little bit.
Awesome, Brian. Thanks for having me, and Cari, thank you for the introduction as well. I'm Mike Boykin. I've been in the real estate market for probably about 12 to 13, 14 years. I can't keep counting here. I think it's about 12, 13 years. But anyway, so I am by trade a IT professional. And so I've got a couple graduate degrees. My latest one is in AI. And my journey is to blend artificial intelligence into real estate market. And how do we take advantage of the AI capability that we currently have? But we need to deploy that in an ethical, fair housing, restricted, guardrail way so that we can keep our real estate license sound. And so I went on this journey to figure out, AI is not just about creativity. We're now in a new market, a new realm of agentic AI, where AI is actually doing work for us. And so one of the things that I struggle with is keeping in contact with my past clients. So I have a solution for agents and real estate professionals, lenders, who want to come in and use a product that has guardrails, but we need AI to actually do work. And that is all the buzz right now in 2026. It's all about agentic AI. And this is where we're seeing the major disruption in the market, is because AI is now moving from, this is pretty cool to chat about or chat with, to creativity, it makes some cool pictures, is now we're moving to a point in the AI realm where AI is actually going to be doing work for you as a real estate professional. And how cool would it be for AI to do work for you?
I noticed in your platform, when I saw your platform, where I think a lot of agents, they struggle the most is converting past clients.
Absolutely.
And so that's your highest converting lead source. It's almost at 38%.
Yes.
Your average buyer lead moves every 5 to 7 years. Right now it's currently about 7 years. So you could take your past database, divide it down by 7, and that's all your customers that are going to move this year.
Absolutely.
That are going to leave and maybe go with somebody else. And one of the things that I noticed that the gap is like a lot of times I will print out the past database for a real estate agent, and I'll see that exact same house that they helped them buy, they sold that house with another agent.
Correct.
And it's because they weren't staying in close communication.
Brian, it's really hard for us to stay in close contact with customers. And as your database grows, I think sometimes as agents, we're kind of short-sighted. We're only looking at the shiny object in front of us, right? That's, okay, I've got a buyer engagement and employment agreement, and I've got to show this person the house. And I've been doing this for over 10 years. What happened to all the people that I talked to 10 years ago that I may have lost contact? And that's exactly the problem that we solved in our product, is that once you connect your account, and us real estate agents, we don't do good with CRMs. We don't do well with keeping track of who does what and who sold what and who is the parents, who is the children. And these are all good connections that we have in our database. When I run my business, I run it based on referral. I want to work with people who want to work with me. And I spent the majority of my time servicing the clients, giving them the best experience. But how do we combine and merge that with artificial intelligence? How do we allow AI to scan our emails and say, hey, Mike, don't forget about these high value customers right in your database? Because I can guarantee you, just like you said, that most consumers now, they sell their house in 5 to 7 years. They are really good friends with their neighbors. Their neighbors are looking to sell. If you stay in contact with your past sphere of influence, they know someone who's looking to buy a home. There's a lot of people moving here to the Valley. And so how do we expand our warm network? But drip campaigns of the old don't work.
I love that you're saying that, though. I love that you're saying that, because you are a by referral realtor. And I think that sometimes the conversation of AI is to keep on casting the net out further and further and further, rather than taking care of the database of the people that you actually know. They know you, they trust you, maybe they've worked with you, you've had conversations with them. staying with that conversation.
Exactly.
This is a referral, but oh, by the way, there's other tools and resources. Because when I sit down with a realtor or lender, whoever, and we find out, okay, you want to integrate AI into your business, because in the marketing space of, what the salespeople do in the title companies is we help agents with their business. We want to grow their business. We want to be more than a postcard, a flyer, or a home buyer and selling guide. We want to be able to bring resources, tools, knowledge. And so being able to, build our connection over the last several months has been great. It's been something where my agents are asking me about AI, but not really knowing what to do, including coming to, like, for instance, my office and saying, I want to set up a marketing campaign that has AI in it. But my first question to the realtor is, have you set up have you subscribed? Have you done anything? And the answer predominantly is no, or they've done it, but they don't know how to use it. So then we have to go back to the building blocks. When we were in a class a couple of months ago, I raised my hand because a couple of years ago, I was taught one of the basic things you want to do is teach any of these AI platforms, no matter which one you choose, teach it who you are. Teach it what you like.
Yeah.
Teach it all about you.
Right.
Because one of the things I did in your class is I went online and I said, knowing everything you know about Cari Sparks, who works at Empire Title, lives in Maricopa County, I said, please provide me with a list of realtors that fit my personality for me to personally buy, sell, or invest. In some ways, we're jumping ahead because we're not feeding AI about us. So if the consumer themselves goes to an AI platform and says, please provide this same situation, you might have gone right around all the lenders, all the realtors, because you haven't taught it who you are. So that's part of the building blocks that I'm working right now with my realtors on, is like, teach it who you are, teach it what you like, teach it things that are important to you. And it's amazing what it will pump out for different. My list was amazing.
And when you look at the thing I love about your platform, Michael, is when you even hear about Scott Bessent from the Treasury, he talked about a little bit about inflation and where the market was going and all that, but he also took into consideration of the AI impact that the current Treasury president, the current Treasury secretary is not looking at, is the loss of jobs, the ability of AI to replace jobs. You had Amazon that just cut out 18,000 people. You have all these things. So we see AI coming in a big way and affecting a lot of jobs. But for some, they feel like, well, AI is going to be a replacement. And for us as real estate professionals and lending professionals, we want to use AI to help us to offer those same services that AI platforms do, but we still are the face of the transaction. We're still the relationship. We're still keeping the job together. So how do we compete with these 800-pound gorillas like Rockets and Zillows and all of these that are putting so much money into AI to basically service clients and do all this? And I think it's great for real estate agents to get in front of that, embrace some of these, offer the same strategies, the same tools and options that they have, but still be the face of the transaction and not phase themselves out as real estate agents.
And that's exactly why I built my AI search platform. I built it just for that very reason. I think one of the things as an AI engineer, one of the things that I'm passionate about is making sure that we have access to AI to everyone, and not just the elite, not the ones who've got unlimited funding to deliver such a powerful tool for their customer base. I think we as small business owners need to, number one, learn what AI is. And this is why Cari and I have gotten together to sponsor these AI Foundations Without Fear classes, so I can teach real estate professionals how to use AI responsibly. How do you have explainable artificial intelligence? How do we keep our real estate license, not putting that in jeopardy? How do we deploy agentic artificial intelligence to actually do work for us? And you're right, we don't have to kick off a new marketing campaign. What we need to do is work the databases that we have, work our past relationships, and give them value, not generic drip campaigns of, NCAA championships, or, here's the football schedule. That's marketing from 2005. People don't want postcards. What they want is an intelligence layer connected to their real estate practice and their agents. And so what we're providing is the ability for agents and professionals to leverage AI, because AI is not going to replace all real estate professionals. AI is going to replace those who are not using those tech tools and technology. And I think the sales gap is going to widen, because the top producers are top producers for a reason. They're top producers because they have the funding, they have the commissions, they have the workflows. Now you've got smaller agents, maybe that 80-20 classic rule, where 20% are doing all the work and 80% of the agents are just doing one or two deals. But how do we get the more balance in the market? Well, you get more balance by delivering more artificial intelligence tools that will help you find where your next deal is, give your buyers a better experience, run a CMA in 10 seconds, staying to use cutting edge technology, but not always relying on your brokerage firm. Because brokers, I think, at the same token, I think there's going to be consolidations with brokerages. I run my own brokerage firm, and I am looking at ways on how do I automate this workflow and using the product. How do we automate where we're not necessarily taking away the agent's engagement, but we understand that the market is changing because people are using AI. Mm-hmm. They're using ChatGPT to ask their questions. They're not going to Google anymore. I don't use Google anymore to do searches. I go right into ChatGPT or Anthropic Claude to get my answer. So if we're doing that now, how's that going to impact our ad campaign with Google clicks? All of this is going to be impacted because the AI is going to disrupt, and it's going to we have to rethink how we're doing business in 2026 and go forward.
I love that about you. Yeah, just taking that, strip it right down to the building blocks, mm-hmm. so that they understand it. There's people out there that are saying that they're certified in this or certified in that. But yet I watch some of the stuff that they're producing, and I don't understand it. But I love the fact of, let's get down to the building blocks of business development in the real estate industry. Let's figure out what we can go ahead and enhance through tools like AI, because there's so many.
That's right.
And it would make their lives so much easier if they could pick a couple and get used to it. And one of the things that I do in my role at Empire is I help the agents, I guide them in getting them in there, much like you do here at Neighborhood, is we guide them toward these things, because there's so many different tools and resources out there. There's always seems like there's an expo for realtors to go to, something for them to go out and a new shiny thing. I'm asked for it all the time, the new shiny thing. But let's focus on something that they can really, truly take this key with AI and make their business truly grow, make it easier, make it more manageable. Teach it who you are, teach it how you really work, because the more you tell AI who you are, so that they can create your own business plan, or working with the customers, previous customers and prospects, staying in touch. I've seen some of the little enhancements that you showed us earlier, where here's the email, here's this, call on this. I mean, it helps the agent.
It gives them that intelligence layer.
Yes, exactly, guiding them to the next steps. And really getting past some of the holding back. Like I hear from agents, well, I don't feel like I can call because I haven't called them in so long, or I don't know what to say, or I'm not really good with this. I hear a lot of objections, and AI will really help them bypass that and help them be that almost like an assistant.
That's right.
I was going to say, sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but it's interesting because I have seen time and time again where agents have come to me and say, okay, how can I level up? And what you said, Michael, is very, very, the whole 80-20 thing that you said is very, very, very accurate. When you look at statistics in the real estate market, it's the top 3% that do the majority of the business, right? Yeah. And so it's platforms, it's resources, it's workflows, and all this other stuff. And so I belong to the core, which we have, platforms and high producers, and we have, process flows, and we have everything. And so what we look at and what we try to pay attention to and what we try to focus on is the workflows and the processes, but avoiding distractions. And so in real estate, there's a lot of distractions. And the reason I like your platform so much is it actually hones into some of the workflows and some of the things that we need to be working, which is your past client database. And being able to do your CMA, being able to do your annual reviews, scheduling your meetings. And so all of these things leave tons and tons of money on the table for real estate agents. They just don't see it because call reluctance is real.
Call reluctance is real. I struggle with that too, to be honest. Like I hope my past clients like me, but I haven't talked to them in 7 years, right? And so when I get that phone call, like, Mike, how much is my home worth? Instead of me taking 3 hours scrubbing the neighborhood, I built a tool where we can get an answer in 10 seconds, and I can send this report right to the client, and they can chat with our AI, almost like a ChatGPT experience, just on the comparable properties. And so, again, I think we're going to start getting to a point where if you're a real estate agent, we've got the NAR lawsuit a couple years ago. And so where you're charging 2, 3, 4 apples and oranges, people want to know what kind of value are you providing to them when we ask the client to sell a buyer, broker, and employment agreement before I open the door. And if you're sending them that normal drip MLS from our search, they're going to say, well, I don't need this. I can go onto another third-party big tech guru company to find the property. And all those agents are always available at the click of a button. So how do we give our agents better tools? And to Cari's point, that's why we launched a series, AI Without Foundations. It's a 3-hour class workshop. I want to call it more of a workshop seminar where you can come in, really learn, bring your laptop, and I'll teach you how to use AI responsibly. And we're also launching our first course, CE 3-hour legal issues course that was approved by the Department of Real Estate back in December. But we're going to be teaching that in May. Cari's going to help sponsor that event. And I want you to teach real estate professionals, here are some of the things of recent case law that you need to be careful with. If you're using AI tools, you need to be careful. If you're putting your client names and using purchase contracts in ChatGPT, that can really expose you to some real big liability issues.
Well, and also the Department of Real Estate recently, with the new updates from the laws that they put in place back on December 13th of last year.
That's right.
They have really been pushing the conversation about AI and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in photography, in the videography. They're really taking a look at it. And so I just really challenge everybody who is using it, though, to make sure you are using it responsibly. That's why I want to make sure that we are partnering, because I want to make sure that the agents that know and trust me with their escrows and their marketing, they have resources like Michael, so that we can just become better at what we do. We can sharpen our tools and all that kind of great stuff.
Perfect. So, Michael, how would somebody get a hold of you? And you have a website, you have contact information, something you can provide?
Sure. So you can take a look at our upcoming events at aisearchportal.com. That's our main consumer business-to-business website. If you click on the events tab, that'll show you all the upcoming events that we have ready to go. And we're just polishing up the last details for our CE class. It's going to be next coming up in May. So we're really excited about that. So if you guys listen to the podcast, please go out, aisearchportal.com/events, or follow me on LinkedIn as well, Michael Boykin on LinkedIn, and we'll stay connected.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Brian Reeve, Branch Manager, Neighborhood Loans, 602-741-4801. Have a great day.